That one was good.
It was all right.
That was really good. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. Let's talk about nerdy shit.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here for.
Because nerdy shit is what we talk about here on Brewing with Company, the talk show / podcast, or whatever the hell you want to call it. We're a couple of average Joes drink a cup of Joe, talk about pop culture and video games. And today, we're talking about an incredibly popular one.
Oh my gosh.
Right now. And I'm super happy it is popular, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Black Myth Wukong, dude, is so crazy because I remember the reveal trailer for it. I think it was like August of 2020 when they initially. Yeah, they've been easing it out for the last like 4 years. Well, you know who Gaming Science is? The developers of the game.
No, I don't think so.
So they are most known. I need to look up what the name of the game is, but they're most known. They were mobile developers for a mobile game that apparently endorsed a metric crap ton of money in China, and that's what gave them the budget to be like, hey, let's take a risk, let's do some AAA gaming. Like, I guess these developers were super ambitious about it, and so Game Science decided, hey, let's do this, and I'm gonna straight up be like, this is so far. I say so far because you have to. This is so far my game of the year.
Oh, I agree.
For 2024,
I haven't played it yet. It's downloading on my on my not PlayStation, on Steam right now for me. I can't wait to play it.
Dude, it is. I like, you know, I've anticipated the game for more in its home run stretch. When it first launched, it looked cool. You know, I haven't. You know, some people have been following it the whole 4 years. Like, they've loved every bit of it. And then, of course, if you follow any gamers on YouTube, they've been tracking it since day one. So there's a lot of people that have anticipated it for 4 years. Me, I've seen it over the last 4 years, but really haven't honed in on it until about the last 8 months in its push to launch. And I was like, this is going to be a solid 7 out of 10 game, bro. Which first of all, I think in 2024, something that really has gone out the window for gamers is we think a 7 out of 10 is a shit game.
It's bad.
Yeah, and that's killing me. And not only is this not a 7 out of 10, this sucker's a solid like 8.5 for me.
Oh, yeah.
This is an 8.5. And I think another thing to be clear about is it's not a 10 out of 10 banger. Like, it's not I wouldn't throw it on the list of masterpiece. I will, however, throw it on the list of holy shit, we need to give it some credit because a mobile development team in China picked this thing up out of nowhere, it's one of the first games on the PlayStation 5 that looks next gen.
Yeah,
it actually feels next gen.
That was in my notes right here. Like this actually looks like it belongs on a game on a console like the next gen consoles. Like, so
oh yeah,
100% agree.
Well, and I actually have to...
That opening, oh my god. I'm hardly ever on TikTok. I had to go on TikTok just to see the edits. Oh my...
See?
The aura. I was like, yo, let's go.
And I don't want to spoil too much because it's still, you know, it came out Monday and it's a fresh game. But, dude, I am absolutely loving it. There's a whole bunch of things to toss around with in regards to Black Myth Wukong. It right now has my vote for game of the year for 2024. I think it is comparable to game of the years of the past. I don't think it's this evolution that, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 was. I don't think it's the evolution that The Witcher 3 was. And I also put it above those random game of the years, like when It Takes Two took game of the year, where it's like, that's not really a game of the year kind of game, but I can see it for the year it came out, kind of. You know, it. I put it right in the middle somewhere. I definitely put it up there with like Dragon Age Inquisition when it won game of the year and stuff. I put it in that kind of medium category. It's well deserving. I say not yet though, because although I don't think this will be the case, it's still a possibility. We still have Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, that's true.
It comes out next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah.
And then we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I want to make it very clear. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. No way in hell do I think it's going to be Game of the Year. Yeah. No, I mean, maybe it will, but
it could blow blow you away. But
both of these games could do that. But
and you and I are both Assassin's Creed stands. Like I guarantee that that we will like the game probably better than the majority average player. Yeah. But I mean, I'll still like have my what's the word? My objective thoughts about it. Just like I've had objective thoughts about things that may not be exactly that great, like Sword Art Online. Hey, yeah, I can tell you up and down why Sword Art Online is not a very great TV show. But hey, I still like it. I don't care what you think.
Exactly,
I like it.
Dude. So, I got a weird one to pull out of my hat right now.
What's that?
One of my guilty pleasure trilogies of movies that I know are not good movies are the Maze Runners.
Really?
I don't know why I like them. I literally watch them and I go, these are really bad. Like, these are really bad teen movies, right. And I enjoy them.
But you have a good time watching. Hey, I do. I love that for you, man.
That's why they call it guilty pleasure, I guess. But with Black Myth, dude, the first thing to get out of the way is no, it's not a 10 out of 10, like we just said. But nor is it. It's not. Nor is it like bad.
A mid. It's not a mid game. I've seen some people who they're haters. They like anything that's like popular. They like, oh, you guys just have terrible taste, and they like some of the most obscure things you never even heard of, and they just like to act all preachy and whatnot. So because Black Myth became so popular, like I won't say out of nowhere, but like the popularity
really is out of nowhere.
You think really so? I think there was a
maybe not nowhere, but I do agree with the trail that you're going on right now. I agree that it was this niche, dude. For the 4 years that it was in development, if you weren't a hardcore gamer, you didn't know what the hell this game was. You didn't know it was coming out, or that it existed.
Or if you didn't know, some Asian myths, history, and stuff like that. Especially because people, something I'm loving. A lot of people were like, "Oh my god, this is like they just ripped off, Dragon Ball Z." And I was like, "No, Dragon Ball is actually a rip off of some
Journey to the West."
Yeah. So it's like I think it's really fun that people are finding out that which is one of the reasons why I absolutely love storytelling, because the stories that have been told thousands, hundreds, thousands of years ago are retold into different packages, and I don't know. It's just beautiful the way that that stories can kind of like outlive generational memory, and then when something reaches back and pulls something out, kind of thing, people find out like, oh my gosh, wait, you told me that people hundreds of years ago liked the same type of story that I like. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So, I 100% agree with that, dude. And it's funny because like I was like a giddy little schoolgirl right there when you mentioned Dragon Ball, because that was exactly my next point, is the opening of the game. The game in general.
Nimbus. Let's go.
The entirety of the game, but the opening of the game immediately grabbed me because I grew up as a major Dragon Ball fan. And I know there's a lot of people that are hardcore into their stories that know A Journey to the West far more than... First of all, if you're listening to this and you don't know what the hell Black Myth Wukong is based on, Black Myth Wukong is an continuation of an old 14th century, correct me if I'm wrong, 14th century Chinese novel called A Journey to the West. It was about a anthropomorphic monkey king who was named Sun Wukong. For those of you who love Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I'm paraphrasing a lot here, so I'm probably skipping some steps here, but if you love Dragon Ball, Son Goku is the Japanese rendition, or like the Japanese what's the word? Like a dialect word for Sun Wukong. It is based off of the Monkey King. The reason Dragon Ball in Japan has all the Saiyans are a vast race. They have the tails. They turn into the giant
oolong.
The
No, oh,
oolong,
sorry.
or
No,
sorry,
Uzuru.
Uzuru. Thank you. The Uzuru, which is a giant ape.
Hmm.
This is all inspired. I wouldn't say based on, but
Yeah, it's
inspired
inspired.
by Journey to the West, and
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah.
lot of anime, and the basis of those animes come from A Journey to the West. Now, me personally, I've never read A Journey to the West. Everything I know about A Journey to the West pre Black Myth Wukong, because I'm not gonna lie, with Black Myth I'm learning even more about it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
everything I knew pre that was just everything I used to study as a kid, about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Same. Yeah. I've never read it entirely. I've never gotten a copy. I suppose I could just order one on Amazon now. But
see, the beauty of this
yeah.
game, in the way exactly what you just said, is how these old, centuries old stories can get brought back into the picture. How much you want to bet there's going to be some English dub audiobooks of A Journey to the West? And you bet your sweet ass, now that I'm playing this game and I've gotten back into Dragon Ball, and just it's scratching that itch that I've had as a kid, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna listen to it, and I will probably then now know the story of A Journey to the West. Like, I think that kind of stuff,
and that could inspire you to do a whole bunch of other stuff and learn more about Chinese culture or just Asian culture in general and whatnot. I don't know. That's why I love. That's why I always go back to storytelling. Is literally what brought us to where we are today. So,
exactly, and that's why I think my love and a lot of people's love for video games as a medium. It's not just that we're nerds and that we like to play games and be in our basements and shit.
It's part of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, still playing video games, right?
I mean, hey, give me some pizza rolls and Mountain Dew. Let's go. let's play some Halo or something. I don't know.
Dude, I literally had a zombies night with the boys last night.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, killing it. Nice. And we were playing Ascension.
You didn't invite me, you son of a.
Yeah, you want to drive all this way? Yeah, go for it.
No, right, bro.
Well, I'm hopping on a plane now, bro. I'll be there in 5.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. So it's like these stories get to continue. Honestly, you put it so perfectly, is that it's a beautiful thing that these stories get to continue so many years later, and we do that a lot in entertainment. And I don't know why video games are looked at so differently, because we do it in movies and all of a sudden it's an artistic masterpiece.
I know, right? Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
Watching Ridley Scott's Gladiator is definitely like, yeah, this is a cinematic masterpiece of the story it's trying to tell about that period in human history. Totally agree. You watch Glory, right? About the Civil War and the trials and tribulations of the first African American regiments and stuff. Like, it was super great movie, right? Like, for some reason that is looked at as like this artistic masterpiece, whereas literal art, which is video games, by the way, which I don't know how that hasn't become a mainstream idea, whether you like it or not. Like, you don't have to be into it, but just recognize that. Do you realize that people literally draw these things on paper? That paper gets digitally scanned, and then they develop and draw it on a 3D plane in a computer that then gets turned into one giant rendition, which is then attached to hitboxes and polygons and triangles, and that all merges together.
The consumer get to control, and you get to shape the story too. Like,
it's like playing God, bro. It's crazy.
Imagine going back to, like, I don't know, 1899, and just pluck somebody from there and just be like, hey, look at what we can do. They'd be like, this is witchcraft.
It's virtual reality at its like, and it's funny that as you live in progression, it's a little different. But yeah, so to have this medium be spoken with Black Myth Wukong is great. But my other favorite part, to kind of lean into the point of our conversation, my other favorite part about this game being so famous is it's Hogwarts Legacy, the sequel, baby. It doesn't matter what type of cancel culture that comes in that tries to say and do something, the game is still going to thrive because it adheres to people that love video games and they love the story. We don't give a shit that some Chinese developer got half-assed. First of all, the statements that they're talking about, which I need to go back and look at again, the statements that they're talking about were like barely translated. Translating from Chinese to English to Mandarin,
it's already hard.
It's already hard, right? So it's very half pushed and different. And something that I definitely want to point out, whether what they said is right or wrong, morally, ethically, whatever, right? Whatever side of the coin you're on, Americans have a huge problem. Us as Americans have a huge problem of arrogance without
Yeah.
realizing it. Now, granted, dude, I'm not one of these people that are like, America's the worst country ever. No, I love America. I love my
I do
country.
too.
Absolutely. I'm a patriot, dog. But I am also not ignorant to the fact that, having been out of the country myself now,
Right. Yeah.
and you especially, you've lived out of the country for
Yeah.
significantly longer than
Yeah.
I have.
Couple
Right?
of years.
Years, right? You need to get out of America. You have to get out of America, because you need to recognize that Americans are very ignorant to different cultures, and the Chinese culture is not westernized.
It's not
at all. It comes from for one, they're still a communist country, and two, they have lived in their centuries, millenniums of history.
Like millennium, like
exactly, millenniums of history,
long time. So it's like
America is a baby.
America is young. America is very young. Not like you said. Hey, I love America. Every 4th of July, I'm red, white, and blue. Every Olympics, I'm just like, yeah, get some. But like, it's something that irks me. If I can just go a little bit off of video games for a second, just something that irks me a lot about a lot of people in our country, who. I mean, hey, you have the freedom to hate the country that you live in. I mean, that's
100%.
fine. Sure, but like, y'all need to go. Y'all need to go out and go see some of the stuff that we saw when we were out there, when we were in other places and whatnot. Because I'm sorry, like, yes, America has some issues, has some deep issues that it does need to fix. Yes, of course, but y'all are so privileged. I'm sorry. Like, I know that people hate to hear it, but like, and I'm not saying that people in America don't struggle or don't aren't people don't die or anything like that. Of course not. But I'm saying, like, compared to some of the hardships that other people live through, like there is, even if it's hard, there is a way that a poor person can get out of poverty in America. In a lot of the places that we've been to, through our service and stuff like that, I'm sorry, if you were born in that hovel, you're probably gonna die in that hovel too. In these places, crazy. And there's almost nothing that you can do about it. But in America, as long as you're willing to work hard and put yourself in the right positions and whatnot, you can make a better place. I'm not saying that every single one who works hard is going to become a millionaire and stuff. Of course not. But I'm saying, like, you can make something better of yourself.
America has opportunity.
And Americans, a lot of Americans are so arrogant to, or it's not arrogant, well, arrogant, but like, so ignorant to other people's cultures and other people's mindset on how life is. Like, there wouldn't be like,
how it should be,
or how it should be. Like, it just, and that's what has sparked so much like no one in other countries is gonna sit there and look at a story and be like, how come there aren't blank demographic in this story? You're like, y'all have too much to worry about. I'm sorry, like, too much time to worry about things that I'm sorry, but don't really matter that much in the long term.
Well, and I follow a bunch of YouTubers, like Luke Stevens is one, and That Boy Aqua. If you like video game essays, by the way, you need to look at That Boy Aqua, dude. Dude's a pro at, absolutely. He's this goofy bald dude who's super cool. He was actually, dude, I messaged him on Twitter one time, and he actually messaged me back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was trying to get into YouTube, and my videos weren't that great, and I was like, hey, man, doubt you see this, but if you have any advice, would love to hear it. And he literally was like, he gave me actual advice. For one, he came back and was the one that told me that, like, I can hear you breathing in the video, bro, and it gets annoying. I was like, oh man, I gotta put pauses in my stuff, like that. But aside, they talk about, both of those guys have mentioned a couple times where it's like, you can find politics in anything.
Yes,
and, I totally agree. And these are guys that probably politically differ from me. Not that I give a shit, but like, they probably do. You can kind of on the surface tell if somebody's going to share your political views or not. And not to get too political, but that's an American thing. And so when we get to circle back to this video game podcast thing.
Right, yeah, you're right.
Sorry, this isn't CNN. Circle back to the video game, like Black Myth is based off of this culture.
Right.
That is not ours, for
Exactly.
one. Which is so funny because
to want to demand that they acquiesce to
dude, in my opinion, it always seems to be Asian cultural stuff that gets picked at.
Yeah.
About being not representing, which is so funny to me because I'm like, hey man, they're representing Asian culture.
Like,
that's what they're doing, and it's like, did you read the Screen Rant critique of Black Myth Wukong?
No, I've been trying to stay off the Screen Rant for like the last couple of years. I'm not gonna lie, man.
It was talking
I'll read
about
it right now.
It to sum it up, it talks about like one of Black Myth's biggest faults. Apparently, this is one of the biggest downfalls of the game. Is their lack of female representation and misogyny in the game. And all right, whatever, fine. The whole point of the tangent that we just went on is that Americans don't really recognize, especially the continent of Asia as a whole, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Hindi, Indian, or even Middle Eastern Asian cultures like
especially
Irani, Pakistani, Iraqi, Emirati, these Muslim cultures, like they have very different priorities in their culture, and they bring it up. Like one of the biggest things that's been bugging me
right now. They're
one of the biggest things. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. One of the biggest things that bothers me about the Black Myth Wukong media surge and its controversy is that, like, first of all, if nobody doesn't know, it peaked as the highest played single player game on Steam at like crazy. It was like 2,100,000 concurrent players, and some of the comments are literally like, "Yeah, but that's all Chinese."
And so what?
Those are players. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Incredible success. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, and Game Science literally just came out, and I think it was this morning or yesterday. I really gotta have my articles next to me that I'm gonna reference. But
we'll get better at this.
Yeah, they passed 10 million copies, dude. 10 million copies in 3 days. Yes,
really? I didn't know that.
I think it'll go down as 2024's highest selling game.
Yeah, highest selling.
It's on the track to, for sure.
It's been since the 19th, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is crazy.
10 million copies in 3 days.
Did Grand Theft Auto 5 do that?
Yeah.
It did. Okay, what about Red Dead Redemption 2?
Don't bring up a Rockstar game. You're gonna lose that battle 9 times out of 10.
Okay,
all of Rockstar's games.
They do that?
GTA 5 last week just sold its 200 millionth copy.
Okay, well, see, like I've never really paid attention to like sales numbers and stuff, but but in that amount of time. But then again, yeah, you're right. It is a Rockstar game. So like, what about like a game like
it's on par with a first party PlayStation game. It's on par with like a I'm trying to think, like Spider-Man sold 14 million copies total.
Yeah, I was
about to say that in a week.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it was the highest grossing PlayStation exclusive. Spider-Man 2 was the highest grossing PlayStation
14
exclusive
million total.
And total copies.
It's been out for a while now, but
yes,
that's impressive.
Well, I don't know what it's at now, but like in its first week, Spider-Man 2.
Well, that's what I meant. Like
something like that.
Week. That's impressive.
It's still incredibly impressive, right? Those are big numbers from big AAA studios that are first-party studios. Insomniac, Naughty Dog.
And this is a studio that was a mobile game studio.
Game Science. This is a Chinese studio, and the studio's not that big from what I understand. I need to look up how many people, but you're not getting like Ubisoft's 500 people working on one title kind of thing. Like it's crazy in the 4-year development cycle what this team has been able to do in its opening week. And I think it needs to just be a pat them on the back, proud moment for video games, dude. Like in general, like let this Chinese company because in China right now, this game is blowing up. They're going to like press conferences. Yeah, because it's their game, like it's their thing. So like when I read these comments after the 2 million concurrent player counts, which is fucking nuts, by the way. Like I don't know if people can kind of grasp when you read 2 million on paper. I don't think you're really grasping like that means 2 million people in less than 24 hours hit a concurrent. People that don't know what concurrent means, concurrent player counts means that 2 million people at the same time in a 4-hour span were playing this game. That means each of them spent a minimum of $60, which, by the way, the base game is $60. They took $10 off, dude, and that got me. That type of stuff got me because their deluxe edition made it a full price game. And this is a studio I wanted to support, even if it might have failed. I wanted to support this because I like these. I like this. Put out what you want. Mm-hmm. This is our story. I'm going to tell it. I like it. So I was like, that $10. I'll do the deluxe edition. I'll get the. I'll pat this on the back to give them a full price sale, even though I didn't have to. And I'm not regretting it. I'm not regretting it at all. Nothing else is paywalled. There's no microtransactions. The game is running smooth. There hasn't been a day one patch, and I'm sure there will be a patch because there is some frame drops and there's some technicalities in the game that is happening. By the way, like we said, it's not a 10 out of 10 banger, right? But it needs to be praised because through all its stupid controversy about lack of women here or what, and look, I get it, dude. I get it. I know some of these things can be problems, but I'm sick of pulling up articles and then in comment sections seeing like women are never going to be represented in video games. I give up.
Like, are you kidding
Aloy,
me? Like, there's
Tomb Raider, it's like it's Samus. It's like, dude, you could pull out a list of Ellie, The Last of Us. You have Horizon Forbidden West with Aloy. You have Tomb Raider.
Even Clementine and Walking Dead. Like, come on, dude, now,
Clementine. You have plenty of female representation. Jesus, like,
okay, but here's the thing though too, like. When people say that it's a problem when a genre or like for example like superhero movies or video games are geared towards boys. Duh! Like I'm sorry.
I know.
Do you guys not understand what it means to sell a product? Like, that's not to say that there aren't girls who like superheroes. That's not to say there aren't girls who love video games. Of course there are. But okay, that's not to say, here's one. There's not to say that there aren't boys who love makeup. But if Sephora just decided to be like, oh, you know what, we're gonna pander, but we're gonna market everything towards boy brands and stuff. They're monster trucks, fighting, all this type of stuff, swords, war, all that stuff. And then when they have an 80% loss in product in sales, and they'd be like, well, how come the ladies didn't buy it? Well, why do you think? I'm sorry. It's just like, it's like if you're making a video game, right? Yeah, there's gonna be women in video games, but like this is not a Western game, so it's not like that's a
and it's based on an already established story. I think
already like, I'm sorry, like why do you want them to interject things especially into a story that's so deeply seeped into not just culture but just like their national heritage? Like, yeah,
it's theirs. Like, there's really nothing to it.
Right.
And there's the representation right there. You have a white dude from the southwest region of America enjoying your Chinese cultural game, dude. Yeah. It's awesome. It's kick-ass. I love it. I'm having a grand time with it. It's going to be my vote. Unless something crazy happens, it's going to be my vote for Game of the Year. And I hope it gets it, dude. Because if it's not even nominated, this shit is rigged.
That's a tragedy.
Well, because, dude, look at Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy sold 32 million copies and was the highest grossing game of 2023. It didn't even get nominated for a single award at the Game Awards. Do I believe it was Game of the Year? No, I don't. I don't even think it needed to be nominated for Game of the Year. But there's
for not a single award, you're out of your dang mind.
Not even Best RPG.
Yeah. Oh no, that was literally the best RPG of that year. Wait, hold on. Yes. What year was that? 2023.
Yeah, I mean, you had Sea of Stars, you had Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I was supposed to say Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
Dude, no, don't get me wrong. I don't
at least
think
nominated. At least nominated. Yeah,
it deserved nomination, and here's why. Because as a Harry Potter fan geek, it was my role-playing game, dude. I got to role-play as a student at Hogwarts. It was the shit. It was awesome. and it got slandered because of the J.K. Rowling stuff about, look, dude. And the problem, I think that the issue is both sides love to overcorrect each other.
Right.
Regardless of what you believe in, right? One wants to shut each other up in the middle of conversation and be like, no, I'm right, I'm morally unjust, or blah, 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 you know, insert political conversation here. Dude, I'm just here to play video games. Like,
that's what I was like, dude, I just want to fly around Hogwarts. Like, what is wrong with that? I just want to go through a secret tunnel in Hogwarts. Like, what? I want to go to Honeydew.
If it's not one thing, it's the other, right? So it's like, there's the argument of like, well, Black Myth Wukong, we're not representing women. Okay, but it's representing Chinese culture. What else you got left? Well, Assassin's Creed, it's not representing Japanese culture. We got a black guy in there. Well, he's actually historical.
Historical.
But it seems a little padded that you brought the only historical black guy in Japan out of nowhere in the same 3 years that he was there. And it's like, okay, fine. I guess that's a reasonable argument. But we're not getting properly represented. I'm like, well, yeah, but you know that thing you had a problem with Black Myth Wukong? Your second protagonist in Assassin's Creed is a Japanese woman.
Yeah.
So why isn't that being praised? Well, because we have this problem over here. All right, well, I really liked Hogwarts Legacy. But you know what? Did you hear that thing that J.K. Rowling said about transgenders? There's a transgender in the game at Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with it or not, it's there. So there's no representation. Well, there's at least one representation. Well, there's no women in any video games. Well, I really liked Phantom Blade. I liked Phantom Blade or whatever, and it's like, but that's way over sexualizing women. It's way too much. Like, all you guys cared about is boobs and ass, and it's like, okay, I guess I can see that. That's fine. I really liked Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, well, it got overshadowed by Elden Ring and Legend of Zelda, another male character. Well, you know, Zelda is a female name. It's a game about, you play as a male protagonist, but it's about a female of whatever. But, you know, going back to Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, Aloy is not an over-sexualized character at all.
Not at all.
She's very much recognized. Yeah, but you know what? They always put these women in cheesy roles. There's nothing serious. I mean, Ellie from The Last of Us had to kill a pregnant woman. It was pretty dark. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty in-depth story and risk-taking. But apparently, but you killed off your main protagonist that was such a good guy. You mean the white male that you had a problem with in the last game that we were talking about, because you're tired of seeing all these white males that should, you know, just not be in games. Like, dude, the circle is exhausting, dude. I'm like, dude,
I don't want to, like.
And dude, I just cannot stress enough that it's like,
I thought we were here to play video games. Like,
exactly. And to do the story, I think you and I, and not everybody plays video games for stories, dude.
True.
I'm totally okay with that. That's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, you're playing a game. Totally get it. Some people are like, I didn't come to watch a movie. I hate that argument, but I'm like,
I like that argument too.
Yeah, true, but
it's a little fair. I will give it. It's a little fair in some games, but like, if I get to experience a fantastic story, and I get to do some awesome stuff in gameplay at the same time, you're not gonna. I'll be happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I just don't. I'm tired of. I'm tired of everything needs to appeal to this weird section of an audience that I will tell you right now, I don't believe it even exists. Like, this weird niche of an audience, people, like, it doesn't even exist. And you know something? It doesn't exist because that was the audience that was targeted in the Star Wars Acolyte TV show, which got canceled because no one watched it. And you can't blame people. You can't blame a studio for stopping. It makes business sense for stopping doing something that nobody bought. You know, like, and then they love to, like, it's like, you know something crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little happy that it was canceled, because they brought in two of my favorite characters in Star Wars lore, and that's excuse me, that's Plagueis and Yoda. And I'll be honest with you. And I know people were like, "Oh, well, let's let them cook" or something like that. And I was like, I don't want them to. I'm sorry. No. Like, I don't want it. At this point, if these are the creators for the Star Wars products that are coming out, less is more. It would be like a Fantastic Beasts. Did you ever watch any of those movies?
Yes, they're terrible.
Yeah. So, but you read the Harry Potter books growing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather have. I think we had this discussion before, where it's I'd rather, Grindelwald being a faceless character as a backstory
yes. Okay.
that
So we did have
builds
that
to.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it less is more. It made it more interesting and it made Dumbledore's mythos. And if no one watched that conversation we had, I'll just really quickly sum it up. Not knowing that there was a magical zoologist dropout, a bunch of misfits and a muggle, that had something to do with the defeat of the previously worst wizard who ever lived, worst mass murdering wizard who ever lived, and the triumph that Dumbledore had over him, and winning the Elder Wand and whatnot. Not knowing the details of that made Dumbledore seem like this, not necessarily all powerful, but just this
unique,
this larger than life character.
There you go. Yeah.
In that's like watching over, the protagonists of the story and whatnot, and you felt a safer. You felt safer when Dumbledore's on the page, and he's watching over Harry and stuff, because that this man has been through some incredible legendary stuff, but we don't know the exact story. Now I know that Newt Scamander bumbled his way to. You're like,
yeah, it's
okay.
The fillers don't need to be there. I guess to circle back to the whole point of
Plagueis. I just don't want to know. Exactly. I don't want to know now. I don't want to know now, because the book was already fantastic, and now it's not canon. That's, in my opinion, one of the biggest tragedies of Disney Star Wars, because that Darth Plagueis book, if no one's read it, or hey, even go listen to the Audible, one of the best Star Wars stories you'll ever read. But I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they would have done to Plagueis now. So I'm glad that they canceled it. I'm sorry, they just didn't. They had their shot. I don't think people like, oh, we'll give it a shot. They had their shot. No one watched it.
I did give it a shot. I watched it, which I can agree. I can agree to the sentiment of please, you gotta try it, right? It's okay, I get that, but I don't. The issue is you don't like it because it was advertised as a majority woman cast. Okay, that statement is not wrong. I didn't like that it was advertised that way, but not because I hate women, but because why is that my advertisement? I'm a Star Wars.
Why is it not the story? Star Wars fan my whole life. Story being advertised?
Exactly. And I think, to circle back to Black Myth, I think that's one of the beautiful things that their development studio is doing. Is they've literally been in interviews for the game, and when asked about the controversy, they literally say they're not going to talk about it. They're just not going to talk about it. And they've even told streamers when they were doing the embargo, right, you're not going to talk about the controversy. Just talk about our game. And right. I think some people think it's that's super irresponsible of the leadership of the company, and I'm like, I think,
but I don't know, man.
I think your sentiment is right. I think the sentiment of owners of companies, when their studios do drastic things, should probably have to explain themselves. But to kind of reverse that and bring the Acolyte into question, I don't see a press conference being held as to why Amy Hennig needs to explain the Acolyte's disappearance. It's I don't expect it to go both ways either.
Right.
Sometimes chicken, sometimes feathers, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So
I've never heard that before. That's funny. Okay.
Hey, I'm here for you. You get an opportunity. You had your opportunity. You wrote a poor story to the majority fan base, and the people that loved your fan base were reaching, and you let us down with kind of a piss poor story. And the problem is I'd rather have the conversation of that's okay, whereas now we're having an argument now because I'm being told that I believe a certain way or whatever, and therefore I'm wrong as the audience of who's your consumer. It's crazy. So with Black Myth, I'm actually on the development side for this one
Yeah.
of the whole. I don't need to explain myself. Play my game, and you know what? 2 million people did, and 10 million people are currently trying it, and
Yeah.
it's a majority of success. It is overwhelmingly positive on Steam right now. We're at several thousand reviews, and people are putting in hours into it. I was gonna only play half of it and then start Star Wars Outlaws. I think that has completely changed. I think I'm not picking up Star Wars Outlaws until I'm done with Black Myth Wukong, because it deserves my attention. It deserves the attention of what it is and how it plays, and I'm enjoying it, and which is super hard for the year of 2024 in video games, which is okay. It's just a lull year, and that I think people are over exaggerating as to why, like, oh, the industry's dying and da da da. Like, yes, it is. There is problems. The layoffs are crazy, but at the same time, when these games take 5 years to create, you should at least expect something like this. So for Wukong to come out when it did was smart, because if it came out in 2023, it would have been overshadowed by all the amazing masterpieces that came out in 2023. And so it came out in a lull year where it could get all its attention, and it is. And if you don't like it because of, misogyny or whatever, you are well within your rights to not play the game. However, getting on TikTok or getting on Reddit and just blabbing on and 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 on about how these people are just horrible human beings, and giving them money is just feeding into their cult and their representation of their tradition. Like, no, dude, not everybody's the fucking devil. Okay, relax. Chill. It's not a big deal. I'm giving money to developers. The way I see it when I play video games, I don't look at the director. I don't look at I look at the developer, who, no matter what, 13 million copies are sold in most of these main gaming companies, gets their $40,000 a year salary, like a teacher's salary, to develop games, when they absolutely deserve more revenue. You want to talk about representation in video games? How about the fact that the vast majority of game developers who are currently scared to lose their jobs because the massive amount of layoffs from these CEOs who are banking $40 to $80 million a year, who don't know how to reinvest their money into their company, is not paying them dog shit. So if we want to talk about a representation problem, how about we start giving money to the people that are making these great stories? Which is why when I see microtransactions of $5, I don't ever want to touch, but $10 for Black Myth Wukong Deluxe Edition to go to some developers who put their sweetheart and soul into this sucker, I'm on board. Here's my $10, brothers, so you can, I hope you get to keep feeding your family, and you can give me another game someday, because this is awesome. Find another lore within your culture, or even another culture that you think you could attach and go represent, and I'm going to keep giving you my money. There's a reason that I've been a PlayStation fanboy, because you have games studios like Naughty Dog and Santa Monica who have taken risks and drastically changed the game when it comes to storytelling in video games. So you get my money, right? So,
and put their heart and soul. Like that's what I love to see.
Absolutely,
I love to see it. And I mean, and to the people who, I don't know, the people who aren't liking Black Myth Wukong, I don't know. Like I just would hope that they try to stop worrying so much about ideology, and maybe just try something new, because hey, I tried even though I saw the writing on the wall before the show even came out. I started watching, I gave it a fair chance and whatnot, and I wasn't disappointed in the result. I was disappointed in the Acolyte just for its storytelling capability and whatnot. Hey, look, I know what it's like to have people dislike something that you like, or hey, you ever eat the jacked buffalo Doritos?
Yeah,
remember those? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they discontinued those. Those were my absolute favorite. I ate the crap out of those, but they discontinued them because they just weren't selling. And it's as simple as that. Like, hey, and and would Frito-Lay be wrong, or is Frito-Lay wrong for that? for upsetting some random dude in the Midwest. Like I go to the grocery store, they don't have my favorite Doritos, and I'm like, where 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 are my Jack Doritos and stuff, and and then I go on Google and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, we just had middling sales, so we discontinued them, and I'm just like, well, that's outrageous, and it's like, well, like, so are they going to keep spending millions and millions of dollars creating the things for only one? Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a millionaire, so I'm not gonna buy every single bag of the Jack Doritos. I'm just gonna buy the bag for my household. But like,
you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. This was a 45-minute conversation to get to the real root of the problem. It's not misogyny. It's not sexism. It's not racism. It's where the fuck are my Jack Doritos?
Where are my Jack Doritos?
Where are my damn Jack Doritos?
Frito-Lay? Bring me back my Doritos. But hey, if it's not making dollars, it's the old saying. If it don't make dollars, don't make sense.
Hey, supply and demand. So to finish off, I will tackle the one last controversy of Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah.
Which is it's not a Souls-like. It's not.
People are saying.
And I totally, dude. And when you look at the surface level of it, if you are somebody who has avoided Souls-likes your entire gaming life, right? Because it's just not your niche. It's just not what you like, which I can totally agree with, because it's not mine either. I've only played 2 Souls-likes, and I'll probably never touch them again. Or not even Souls-likes, actual Souls games. I played Sekiro and Elden Ring, and Jesus, that is just not my cup of tea. If you've never played a Souls-like, just quite literally never touched one because you've just read about them, I can see why you think Black Myth Wukong is a Souls-like. Can totally understand where the surface level idea of it gives the perception that it's a Souls-like. However, if you are a Soulsborne, Souls-like fan, From Software fan, well, I wouldn't even say that. You'll understand why it's not a Souls-like. It is a third-person action, for sure. It's much more of like a God of War meets Final Fantasy.
Oh, that's a good.
That's the best way I can describe it. The combat is difficult. It's kicking my ass, and it's a boss rush. It's an absolute. There's 90 bosses, 90 in the game. 90, dude. I'm hyped. I
can't wait,
dude. In my first 6 hours,
by the time we're done.
Go play the first 4 hours, dude. Go play the first 4 hours. You'll be like, damn. You will fight in that 4 hours. No shit, probably about 12 bosses, like 10 bosses. It's a definite boss rush game, and it definitely is not a. It's not a button masher, dude. It's not a button masher either. Learn your combos, learn your dodge. Yeah, so like, it's not a Souls-like. I can see why people think it is, because obviously you have the shrines and stuff like that. But like, when you die, you're not losing XP. You don't have to go hunt down your ghost or whatever to regather your XP. You don't have to, it's not restarting you. Like if you go off and explore and you open a chest and you die by that chest, the chest was open. You have whatever was in there. You just go back to the shrine and start all over from the shrine. And the enemies will respawn when you rest. Like, those are Souls elements in the game that do exist. But the combat is difficult in a very different way. Trust me, if you got through Sekiro, this is going to be a fucking breeze, bro. Like, if you got through Sekiro, the combat will be difficult at first. But once you figure it out and learn attack patterns, it's going to be... You'll die a couple times. If not, if you're really good at From games, this is going to be like your vacation home, and you're just going to enjoy the game.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, you're going to love it. You're going to be like, yeah, this is easy. What are you people talking about?
If you're a parry master, it's going to take a second. I like to parry. There's no parry in this game. There's no block in this game. 0 blocking button in this game. It is all dodge and stamp.
Yeah, I'm a dodge. I love dodging. I don't know. It's just fun. It's just,
so
like some... Yeah,
did you play the Horizon games, Forbidden West and Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
The dodge is, I don't want to say on par with that, but that's where you're at. You're doing a lot of hop, skip, and rolling in a 3-time dodge pattern. And then you have stances similar to like Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh.
I say similar for a reason. You'll see what I'm saying when you play it. But so you adhere to your skill tree with those stances, learn how to dodge. You're going to die, dude. You're going to die a bunch. It's super satisfying. It's super satisfying when you get these bosses done. And I will say this, the variety is impressive, dude. There are very few bosses that are the same in the game. Very few out of, because you think 90 bosses, you're like, I'm gonna run into the same boss 3 times, 4 times. So far, like, it's, dude, because I haven't completionist the game, right? I still got a ways to go for things in the game, so it's varied. The environments are great, and by the way, dude, it will definitely get visual rewards. It is stunningly beautiful.
A beautiful game.
It is so crazy what Unreal Engine 5 does.
TikTok and stuff has been a absolutely gorgeous game.
Dude,
like,
and it's Lord. Put the thing on performance mode while you're playing on your. Are you doing PlayStation or your Steam?
I have Steam. I mean, I do have a like $100 credit on PlayStation. I might get it on my PlayStation too, because let the lady play it, because she's been trying to get into more games and stuff, and I think that I'm just I want to get her into Elden Ring. So if I get her into this,
it's such a big leap, though.
I know. I'm
Such a
saying,
big leap.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I just want to just be a fly on the wall as she's like playing Elden Ring. But
because you know damn well she's gonna be like, where do I go? Because like, dude, games like that, and even Wukong has a little bit of that too, bro. There's no map. Mm-hmm. You're exploring freely, but it's not overwhelming. It's very linear, dude. You're running into invisible walls. If you're an exploration type of person in video games, you're gonna smack invisible walls all over. That's all I've been doing. You're gonna be like, I think I can go over here. Nope, never mind. And you're gonna go back. So it is. I 100% recommend it. Right now, for me, it's like a solid 8.5 for me. Like, and its problems are really minuscule problems. Dude, I literally give it 1% off just because it's not a masterpiece. Like that's where my brain is at right now. It's like, and the other 0.5% off to get it to that 0.5 on the 8.5 is like, it's having some technical problems. The voice acting is very it's good. It's not bad, but it's, God, you just gotta play it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Play it. Get off tonight. Go have at it. Let that coffee surge through you. Let me know when you get through the boss with the giant head. Shoot me a text tonight. That's all I'm gonna say. Boss with the giant head. It's like a side boss. It's not even a main quest. Boss with the giant. You'll run into it. I know you will, because just in natural exploration, I ran into it because it takes a second, but everywhere you go in the game is very obvious on what the proper way to go is, and exactly the objective way, and then the side. So boss with the giant head, as soon as you get it done, shoot me a text. And I'm assuming the text will be, what the flying fucking fuck was that? Like, who the hell was... Yeah, so cool, man. If anybody listens to this, by the way, we're just messing around. Greatly appreciate the 10 people or the 100 people. Like, we have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works. With what I'm gonna title this video, I'm sure we might at least get a little touch. And I hope, I really don't know what's clickbaity and what's not. So if you comment that it's clickbait, sorry. We're just trying. This is more like a therapy for us than anything else, to just get our nerd out.
I just love talking about this stuff, man. I
Absolutely.
can't wait.
We're gonna keep doing it, man.
To tell you how I because I already know, like, I already know I'm gonna love this game, man.
It's very you. I was playing it, and dude, when I tell you Dragon Ball, that's all you're gonna feel it. It's and there's so much more to Journey to the West of Dragon Ball, by the way. I'm not trying and a lot of people are getting pissed about that online as well.
That's true.
Like, stop referencing Dragon Ball. I'm like, well, I know, but
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't not. I'm sorry.
But all politics aside, video games are fun, movies are fun, storytelling is fun. So
and let's keep it fun. Let's not make everything so difficult. Like, it doesn't have to be this difficult.
we just gotta be fun. It's just a lot of fun, you know? Just
That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
So,
but that is me. So.
Oh shit, that's you?
That's me.
Shut up. That's not you. That's not you, dude.
It is me.
Oh my god, dude, this is me.
All right, well then, if that is the case, well, I am going to go and check and see what the status is on that download, and you are going to probably play some Black Myth as well, right?
Probably about 4.5 hours tonight. Yeah, I'm probably gonna really put in the numbers tonight. Last complaint. Last complaint of Black Myth Wukong that took at least 0.01% off my score. It's 101 fucking gigs. That's it. I'm done. It's taking up so much of my hard drive. But
Yeah.
if you listen, thanks for listening. Even if it was for 5 seconds and you skipped through it, awesome. We appreciate it. We're trying to learn the YouTube thing. Honestly, if anybody's listening to this right now, comment how we can do this better. We'd really like to continue this. We're not making this a career or anything, but we do want to have conversations, and we love conversations. I got a guy on Twitter right now that I want to hop on one of the casts with us here soon, and really just having fun and talking about video games and pop culture and what we like to see. So please comment on anything that you see. We're very thick-skinned people, so even if you're like, you guys are ass, cut it out. I'm gonna be like, thumbs up, baby. So
we probably won't, but thanks for commenting.
I promise you, if you call us ass, I will thumbs up that comment. I will like it, and I might even reply with a thank you, dear citizen, for your gracious complaint. You're in our complaints department right now, and we are overseeing what we can do to better your service in the future. So,
all right,
but that's you, that's me.
Stay caffeinated.
Love it.